to go on to Corey De La Cruz here in just a minute. You can come on. And the Band and Challenge Books events are being held all this week, all around the country. The Freedom to Read Foundation and Freedom of Information Foundation sponsor a lot of these. I think this is the 30th year of all of this. And so books and videotapes now are banned and challenged. A lot of things get challenged. Most of them do not get banned for one reason or another. The librarians are on the front lines of this. We can defend most things to the satisfaction of those persons who are challenging them. But bring it on if you want to challenge it, and we will justify it for you. All right, we'll have Corey reading from Brave New World, which has been on the banned and challenge list pretty much ever since it was published, and it's still there.
Hello, my name is Corey De La Cruz, and today I will be reading from Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Before I do my reading, though, I think a few things should be explained here, better understand. Aldous Huxley created a world where everything is synthetic, everything is artificial. This goes down to even creating life. In this Brave New World, life is created on a big conveyor belt, just through bottles and use of different chemicals. Another thing that is used to control the masses, also synthetic, is a drug that Aldous Huxley refers to as soma. When using soma, the user goes into a state of unconsciousness, also pure bliss, you can say ecstasy, no worries, no stress at all. A few characters now before we have to talk about will be Mustafa Mond. He is one of a handful of world controllers. As you can guess, these are people stationed around the world that control the world. They make decisions. Another character will be John the Savage. He's named John the Savage because he comes from what Mustafa Mond and other people of his society would call the savage world, uncivilized. John the Savage, he is from the United States, and of course, of all places, he happens to be from New Mexico. Well, John the Savage happens to come across a journey, I guess, to the Brave New World. While he's there, he experiences a lot of different things. You know, obviously he hasn't seen from the savage lands, technology, everything. One important fact about John will be that his only education, the only thing he knows outside his own world, would be that of Shakespeare. He has a collection of Shakespearean works which he's read and he knows greatly. One thing here that he questions Mustafa Mond while having a conversation is another thing they use called feelies. These are just a normal movie, but the only difference is while you're sitting there enjoying the movie, you actually experience every emotion that is going on through the actors on the TV, every sensation that's happening, you know, excitement, pride, you can say other things. So now, John the Savage asks him why don't they perform works such as Othello, one of his favorite plays by Shakespeare. He tells him because it's simply old, it's not interesting to his people anymore. And then Mustafa Mond goes on to explain here. He says, because our world is not the same as Othello's world. You cannot make livers without skill, and you cannot make tragedies without social instability. The world is stable now. People are happy. They get what they want. They never want what they can't get. They're well off. They're safe. They're never ill. They're not afraid of death. They're blissfully ignorant of passion and old age. They're plagued with no mothers, no fathers, no wives, nor children, nor love to feel strongly about. They're conditioned. They are so conditioned that they practically can't help behaving as they ought to behave. And if anything should go wrong, they're soma. Would you go chucking out the window in the name of liberty, Mr. Savage? Liberty, he laughed. Expecting deltas to know what liberty is, and expecting them to understand Othello, my good boy. Just a quick note, he talks about the deltas. That's part of the social classes which they create. There's alphas, betas, deltas, bonds. With these social classes comes different levels of intelligence, different levels of consciousness, again, which the world controllers decide upon them. So it's easy to see why people would be afraid of this book, the things that it talks about, a world that we might soon come to live in, possibly do now. Thank you.
One of the books that I swiped from my brother years ago to read. I didn't know what it was about, and at the time I was very young, didn't quite understand it, and need to read it again. again. I know there's lots of books that you read once and you need to read them again to make sense of them. Thank you very much for reintroducing that, putting it back on my list of books to read again. Now we're going to hear from Mary Ellen Keith, who will read to us from I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing.
It's an old Irish curse. May you live in interesting times. Dr. Maya Angelou has lived in interesting times, and her several memoirs, autobiographies, describe those interesting times. She is now a year or two or three past 80. She is one of the shining lights of American literature. Even though she never had the opportunity to go to a college, though she did get some dance instruction, she has more than 40 honorary degrees and is a professor in New York State. She is an amazingly articulate and passionate woman. She named her book from a line from a poem. I know why the caged bird sings. And the answer is, it sings not because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. And I want to read to you a little bit from her first autobiography. It starts when she's 3, and she's sent to live with her grandma in Stamps, Arkansas. This would be in the 1930s. At that time, America was ferociously, racially segregated. She lived on the wrong side of the tracks, but she was so brilliant. When she was 8, she was sent back to her mom in San Francisco. She was raped by mom's boyfriend. I may be in the wrong town there. Anyway, she was raped at the age of 8 by her mom's boyfriend. The next day, because the child was injured, mom sent the boyfriend away, and the case was prosecuted. When Maya had to testify, she felt so guilty because she feared her words had caused the man's murder somewhere else in the town the next day. When she graduated from middle school, she went back to stay with her mom in San Francisco. And her impression of San Francisco as a 13-year-old, observant, passionate teenager is what I want to read to you today, because I think it is so relevant as our heroes come back from around the world, missing body parts or perhaps in boxes, having given their all. So she's describing her impressions of the beautiful city of San Francisco. And this, remember, is right in the middle of World War II. The undertone of fear that San Francisco would be bombed, which was embedded by weekly air raid warnings and civil defense drills in school, heightened my sense of belonging. The city acted in wartime like an intelligent woman under siege. She gave what she couldn't with safety withhold and secured those things which lay in her reach. The city became for me the ideal of what I wanted to be as a grown-up. Friendly, but never gushing. Cool, but not frigid or distant. Distinguished without the awful stiffness. To me, a 13-year-old black girl stalled by the South and Southern black lifestyle, the city was a state of beauty and a state of freedom. The fog wasn't simply the steamy vapors off the bay caught and pinned in by hills, but a soft breath of anonymity that shrouded Pusha, the Nashville trafficker. I became dauntless and free of fears, intoxicated by the physical fact of San Francisco. Safe in my protecting arrogance, I was certain that no one loved her as impartially as I. Pride and prejudice stalked in tandem the beautiful hills. Native San Franciscans, possessive of the city, had to cope with an influx not of awed, respectful tourists, but of raucous, unsophisticated provincials. Southern white illiterates brought their biases intact to the west from the hills of Arkansas and the swamps of Georgia. The black ex-foreigners had not left their distrust and fear of whites, which history had taught them in distressful lessons. These two groups were obliged to work side by side in the war plants, and their animosities festered and opened like boils on the face of the city. San Franciscans would have sworn on the Golden Gate Bridge itself that racism was missing from the heart of their air-conditioned city, but they would have been sadly mistaken. A story went the rounds about a San Francisco white matron who refused to sit beside a Negro civilian on the streetcar, even after he made room for her on the seat. Her explanation was that she would not sit beside a draft dodger who was a Negro as well. She added that the least he could do was fight for his country the way her son was fighting on Iwo Jima. The story said that the man pulled his body away from the window to show an armless sleeve. He said quietly and with great dignity, "Then ask your son